Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Ultimate Tribute Band podcast. My name is Roger. Great to see you all again. This is going to be a fun show for me because we're really dipping back into my personal vault of friends and acquaintances. And so we're going to go talk to some friends of mine who are now in Texas. We're going to have Larry Ashby and we're going to have Stephen Naylor. They are from Star Skynyrd, which is the musical tribute to Lynyrd Skynyrd, obviously out of Texas. And we're going to talk about that. Larry and I used to be good friends when we lived in Orange County, California. We were actually roommates for a while, and we were back working in clubs and all that kind of stuff. And Larry kind of got me started in a lot of ways, working some club gigs and really got me going with bands as well. He probably didn't realize the band part, but it was going to see him and his bands when he was playing in the mid-late 80s, I guess it was. And I went, you know what, this is a good way to make some money, and it really started the ball rolling for me. He and I parted company because he moved, I got married, things changed, and then but the band thing stuck. So thanks, Larry. And it's really nice to talk to it's nice to talk to both of you guys. So Stephen, Larry, tell me about Star Skynyrd and how this all got started for you guys.
Well, first off, thank you for having us on the show. We really appreciate it. I'm a fan of the show. Watched every episode 2 or 3 times, and really liked it.
Made it required watching for the entire band.
We did, for real. Yeah, it is. It's required, but it's excellent information. But the band
means a lot. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
The band started in 2017, and it was us, an old bass player named Dave Anderson, got together. Found Larry really quick, started finding other guitar players looking for cream of the crop guitar players, wanting to replicate the Skynyrd material note for note. And we found the right people after, I don't know, Larry, how long was it?
From, I think it was June to probably December when we did that first welcome to the family kind of a event over at, what do you call it?
DVA.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so we spent, 8 months in the woodshed getting it right before we took it out to play it to anybody. We had a private event is what he was talking about for our first show. So yeah, it took us about 8 months to get to where we were comfortable enough to feel we were doing it note for note and replicating it the way we wanted to do it.
Gotcha. So what was it about Lynyrd Skynyrd? Is there just a personal thing that just is a band that you guys really have loved or admired, or what was it that made you pick that?
It was a band I had always loved, and I felt I could do the Ronnie Van Zant part justice. And so the bass player that started with us was running an ad for 3 guitar players, so I knew it had to be Skynyrd or Molly Hatchet. So I replied he hadn't found anybody yet, so that's how we started it. And Larry can tell you his Skynyrd history.
Yeah, growing up on the West Coast, I think I knew Sweet Home Alabama and maybe have heard Freebird, but just wasn't nearly ingrained in me like it was this. But when I started really considering this, I started realizing that there's some pretty involved music. It's very orchestrated, stuff that people don't really get. And also I realized that I'd played Sweet Home Alabama wrong for 25 years. But once you started picking it apart, you really realized that it was really a lot of stuff to dig into.
I think I'm probably in your camp. I mean, I'm born and raised in Southern California too. And working the circuits that we worked, we only had to know 2 to 3 songs, we and quite honestly, Freebird is the go-to cliche song that every cover band says, don't ask me to play Freebird, which is ironic because quite frankly, I don't think I've ever heard a cover band play Freebird because they all say, don't make me play Freebird, and I'm like, you know what, those are great songs. I started to learn more about them and listen to them as I got older, and I went, and you're right, Stephen, it's a big catalog, and Larry, it's not just simple bar band stuff. There's some challenging things there to play. Great tunes, great melodies. I mean, this is, like you said, this is a time when it's 3 guitars and there's huge orchestrations going on there with all the guitars playing at the same time. And it's a great set. It's got to be a great set to put together.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's we try to make it a show, with peaks and valleys, and a lot of good stuff to choose from.
So what kind of, how did you said 17, which means you really had about 2 years to really get going, and then kind of no gigs would happen for a while. But so what did you do to kind of get yourselves off the ground? How'd you get yourselves going? Were there other Skynyrd tributes in a reasonably close proximity to you guys?
There was another Skynyrd tribute in the DFW area that we knew we could replicate better. It could be done better. Put it that
Sure.
way. Nothing against these guys, but it could be done better.
Yep.
So we set out to do just that, was be a better Skynyrd band. And first off, after we got it, the music up to speed, we had a private show for family, and then we took it to a lower level club that you can book yourself to work out the kinks in the live show. And we did that twice. And then we immediately started looking for the booking agents that did tribute bands, that handled that we saw in town doing that. And we searched them out, got a few bites, and were able to jump into the decent clubs in Dallas fairly quick. Luckily, we were really lucky, but we had worked hard and made the music perfect.
So let me touch on what you said there right at the beginning, and we don't have to get too specific, but when you said, there's other bands doing this and we think we can do it better. What was it that you felt that other bands may lack? And what was it you were able to do that you feel that kind of put you a little bit past where they might be going with it? What did they not have?
More accurate on the instruments, and the singing could have been better.
Okay.
Singing in pitch, that's a necessity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so it sounds like maybe what was out there was a little more on just the bar band level, and
Exactly.
They may have called themselves a tribute. And if you've been watching the show with all these episodes, you do know that there's kind of there's those levels of tributes and kind of thing. And this is in no way to knock those bands. I mean, if that's
Exactly.
where they want to be, that's totally fine. But it sounds like you went with the attitude of we want to go to another level, though.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We wanted to do something different, and by going to the different levels.
Gotcha. So are you also kind of working on Skynyrd? I mean, Skynyrd has a look. Lynyrd Skynyrd band has a look. That whole Van Zant look, the flat top hat, and that outlaw cowboy kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
So are you guys kind of going as much that look as you can? And
We're trying, they were T-shirts, jeans, long hair, and beards. So if you can...
Pretty easy. And we're just kind of Skynyrdy,
We had somebody tell us that, normally you don't want to go on stage like you go to Walmart, but that works for a Skynyrd tribute.
yeah, it's a working man band in that sense for sure.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
but I mean, again, being that casual fan, I have kind of a image of what I think Lynyrd Skynyrd looks like. So as opposed to like the Eagles or the Doobie Brothers or Steely Dan, I don't have an image in my head other than jeans and the T-shirt for the Eagles kind of thing. But Skynyrd has a bit of a look there. So when you set out to start booking and you were a new band, I assume you kind of got a promo put together, and we're going to take a look at some of your promo stuff in a little bit. You put a promo together, and was it just a matter of you just emailing and just saying, hi, here we are?
Yes, it was. It was just, boots to the ground or fingers to the keyboard, but it, just old fashioned hard work and, just putting it out to everybody and trying to get bites, and with the quality we had, we were hoping, we knew it shouldn't take too long, and that's what we were hoping for. And like I say, we're really lucky for it to have worked out as quick as it did, because we were able to pretty much jump in.
And it's a good sized band you got up there. What do you got? 7, 8, 9 people, or what's your lineup?
All of the above, yeah.
All of the above.
Well, I mean, depends on the. We do a 6-piece, which there is a Skynyrd version, a real Skynyrd version early on that was a 6-piece. Then we do a 7-piece with the 3 guitars, and then a 9-piece with the 2 girl backup singers.
So based on a venue situation
Right.
and obviously a budget situation.
Yeah, and stage size.
So yes, you're right. They may have the budget, but if it doesn't fit, I mean, we're 7, we're 10 if we bring the horn section, but some places just they can't accommodate it. So
That's exactly it.
you create this configuration. You've got 7 to 9 people. I would assume, or 6 to 8 or 9 people. I would assume these folks have other jobs, have other bands, have other projects. How does that work? Corralling that schedule, or just making that all work?
It's just like herding cats.
Yeah.
It's we've got a pretty good system. We've got everybody on a group me chat, so we all pretty much stay in pretty close contact and getting in contact with everybody and getting everybody going the right direction. It's not as hard as it seems, but
Well, that's good.
It is.
Yeah,
So we use the
that's
app.
great.
We use a calendar app where everyone can put off their dark days, or whatever you want to call them, their unavailable days.
Sure. Do you have subs for some positions, for all positions? What's your situation there?
Yeah.
We do. We do have subs for everybody in case anything happens and we have something really good, and we made sure that they're quality subs, and typically we draw from another Skynyrd tribute.
We had to sub Steven during the summer for a show, or 2, just because of family stuff.
Emergencies. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you get a good enough gig, or it's a gig you really don't want to turn down for a variety of reasons, you got to do what you got to do to try to make it work. So I totally respect that. So what's like a good year for you? What would you like to shoot for gig wise, number of gigs? Or are you kind of like, look, we're going to try to do as many as we can, fill it as much as we can?
Would like to do as many as we could, with 75 as our goal every year. And we haven't hit that yet. We've done as many as 45 shows in a year, and that keeps pretty busy. Last year we did 32, counting the one we have on New Year's Eve this year. So it was an average year, and things are still getting back to really going now. And it looks like next year's going to be really good. We've already got 17 on the books for 2024. So
and you're all over the place. You're not just playing Texas.
No, yeah, we're going half Skynyrd will travel. We're going wherever we can go. Yeah.
Nice. So tell me about, like a big gig. I think you had something pretty big in Florida, right? You had a pretty nice show there.
We did. We had a show out at Biketoberfest in October of 2022.
Biketoberfest, yeah.
Biketoberfest, and it's really
Daytona.
just Daytona Bike Week in the fall. Huge, massive people, and we played a place called the Boot Hill Saloon. And they had the
Perfect.
biggest crowd in their 50-year history the night we played there, and made more money than they have in their 50-year history on that night.
Nice.
We were really proud of that.
45 plus gigs. I'll be honest with you. That makes me very, very jealous. We have not hit that number ever. So, what kind of venues, what kind of gigs, what kind of, it seems to be what you are, that books you more, or what do you seek out? Are you doing clubs and bars? Are you doing sounds like you're doing the outdoor festival type thing too. So is there kind of a wheelhouse for you guys of what you like to play, or that seems to work best?
You want to take that, Larry?
Yeah, biker events.
Biker events, yeah.
Yeah, that's our built-in crowd. We got involved with a biker event promotion guy, and it's just a great relationship, and we've been playing just about everything he's got.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's a strength. I mean, your act is exactly what they would be looking for. So those things are happening around the country. So that's a good fit for sure.
It is. It's a good little circuit.
Tell me about the what is the Josie Music Awards? What is that? Tell me about that.
The Josie Music Awards are the largest independent music awards in the world, and they're all kinds of people from all over the world, but it's for independent artists is what it's for. It's like Grammys for independent artists, and they have it every year at the Grand Ole Opry. It's based out of Nashville, and it's decided by Nashville music industry people. And, it's not the where you vote online or anything like that. It's actually critiqued. And when we won, there was, I believe it was 54,000 entrants total, not just tribute bands, but total. And we ended up winning out of,
wow.
I think it was 1% got nominated, and then less than that actually won. So, but we were really proud of that, and got to go on stage at the Grand Ole Opry, and we had a trophy that says we were the best tribute band in America.
So the award-winning tribute to Lynyrd Skynyrd, Lone Star Skynyrd.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Considering it's only been a few years, and like I said, you had 2 years of essentially downtime. So I really respect all the work you guys are clearly putting into this. So you know what? Let's seems like a good spot. Let's take a look at some of your promo and hear you guys in action and see you guys a little bit. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to watch some of their video. If you're listening, you can listen to it. It's going to sound great. So let's see what we got here. Oh, there it is.
Hey, y'all looking for a music act for your festival, fair, or casino? Well, stop looking and start booking. Lone Star Skynyrd!
Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are smooth.
Book the internationally award-winning band that faithfully recreates the legendary Lynyrd Skynyrd concert experience.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name? Shoot me straight, little girl. Won't you do the same? Won't you fly free? Yeah.
International Josie Music Award-winning Lone Star Skynyrd! Burning up the stage with Skynyrd spirit and crowd-pleasing Skynyrd classics.
Mr. Saturday Night Special, got a barrel that's blue and gold.
Make your fair, festival, or casino a breeze.
Call me the breeze, and I keep blowing down the road.
And turn it up.
Give me 3 steps, mister, and you never see me no more.
Your crowd's gonna be on their feet, singing, dancing to a celebration of Skynyrd's rock and roll legacy. Lone Star Skynyrd! More than a tribute, more than a good time party.
Don't stand my whiskey. Rock and roll.
Book us now. Lone Star Skynyrd.com.
Well, you guys definitely got the look and the sound for sure, man. It sounds great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So what's a typical night for you? Is it 90 minutes? Is it a couple of hours? What's a typical set? What do you try to book? What do you like to book?
90 minutes is perfect, and we get a lot of those. It's split pretty even between 2-hour and 90-minute shows. Every now and then we get a 60-minute, but we don't really even, opening for somebody a 45, 60-minute.
Yeah.
But we don't really even try, for any 3-hour multiple set shows anymore,
Yeah,
we'd take them if we had to. I mean, I think
that's the kind of thing that you probably do it as you need to book gigs and get some jobs out there and get yourself some video and get some audience. But when you're doing a tribute, when you're doing a tribute like this or one of these levels, it's kind of like we want it to be a concert. And unless you're Springsteen, you're not going 3+ hours. and you're not doing 3 1-hour sets with 15-minute breaks. So,
Right.
yeah, we like to shoot for 90 minutes. It usually times out about an hour and 45 once you factor in a little bit of between song banter and an encore here and there. But after that, unless it's, I would imagine unless it's a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan club, you'd have to go pretty deep to keep going,
Yeah, right.
But you've got a lot of great, those are all big sing-along anthem songs, man.
Yeah,
And,
which makes the 60-minute set just smoke and hard for. I mean, we've heard them comment. You guys are hard to follow.
Yeah,
especially when
right.
we're doing that 60-minute slot.
And then you're going, well, we got to cut some stuff, and we know this stuff all works, so we're cutting 20, 30 plus minutes out. You're gonna get a killer set, but you're still gonna miss some pretty quality stuff. So, we've got an opener set coming up, which we have not done in forever, and it's about 75 minutes, but it's a lot of songs cutting that we would normally have in there, and but it's all killer, no filler,
Yeah, right.
So what's been the feedback? Have you gotten any feedback from the Skynyrd organization on any level? Have they found you guys? Do they know about you guys?
We most definitely have got feedback from them, and it's very positive, and they've kept us in touch and took us backstage when they came through town. And we had the way we got in with the Skynyrd bunch was through a dear friend of ours named Susan Hibbs. She passed away a couple of years ago, but she lived in Fort Worth, and we were playing in a suburb of Fort Worth, and she came to watch us, and she came up and was talking to us and saying, she thought we were good, and she threw in, and my son-in-law is Johnny Van Zant. We were like, no, wait a minute. We were like, your son-in-law is Johnny Van Zant? And she was like, yeah, my son-in-law. Sure enough, it was Johnny Van Zant, and she was more than happy to help us. She loved being his mother-in-law, and she was, a really sweet lady, and she always was happy to help and would get him to take pictures in our shirts, and he made a video telling us happy anniversary and just lots of stuff like that.
That's amazing. Well, you can't get much better than that when you've got kind of that seal of approval. It means you're doing it right. You're doing it respectfully. I think that's a big part of in this tribute world where it can get pretty shticky and pretty over the top, looks and wigs and stuff. When you're doing it respectfully with real chops and real talent, real artists usually have a pretty good response to it,
I think you're right.
So getting back to just the size of this act and the fact that you do play around the country, I mean, we're 7 guys in our band, and flying is a challenge, and equipment's a challenge, and backline's a challenge. You've got a lot of moving parts there. So just nuts and bolts wise, take me on a out of town fly gig or a long drive gig, or what's your usual setup? What do you shoot for?
Well, we've done it in numerous ways, and typically our band's a little different. We do a caravan of about 2 or 3 cars, or in Larry's truck. We'll dogpile in Larry's truck, fill his bed up. We've rented a trailer, but we haven't gone that route to just get one and everybody travel that way. This way works for us, and it works good for us. But that's how we do it. On the flyouts, it's we've had a couple. We got one coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
going to Steamboat, Colorado, and they're challenging, because it's back to that herding cats thing again, And these people want us there a day early, so some of us are going together. One guy can't go till he gets off work. 2 others are flying together,
Yeah.
And some of the wives are coming on this one, being at a ski resort.
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's it works, but it's not always easy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, quite honestly, driving, it's logistically just getting everything to the gig. That's your deal and it's your responsibility. On the fly gigs, you're counting on a lot of stuff being there. So I assume obviously there's the advance writer and there's conversations that happen ahead of time.
Exactly.
But are you guys finding ways to travel lighter, travel smaller, travel more? Are you kind of modifying how you set things up here and there?
You want to take that, Larry?
I mean, it's trying to condense things down. I mean, it's not really condensing because it's really more equipment, but we're, going with the whole in-ear rig with the, the Behringer X32 rack and all of that. Technically, it's more gear, but it just brings everybody down into the same system, controlling your own thing. The byproduct of that is allowing the guitar players to all go with modelers so they don't have to carry amps. And
right. Or request them at a fly gig.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's something I always want to touch on, that kind of stuff, because again, a lot of bands kind of always ask, what do you do when you're flying? What do you do? Because a lot of these folks they drive gigs and they don't know what's involved in flying a band, and especially a band of your size. Right. I mean, you got guitars. I assume some airlines are friendlier for you to take your guitars than others. And
yep, we've been lucky there, and they've been able to take them right on, put them in the overhead.
Yeah.
So and that's just do it as a carry-on.
Yeah, we only fly some airlines for that reason alone.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, I got you.
And until we're sponsored, I won't mention any of them by name. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So is the goal is to get more gigs, obviously, and keep the calendar filling. Do you have Larry? I know you have a day job. Steven, do you have a day job?
I do. I'm an exterminator, Monday through Friday.
And Larry, what do you do?
I'm an RN, registered nurse at Texoma Medical Center. Been there for 25 years almost.
Wow. So should this thing take off more, or even at this point right now, what's it like trying to work that around your day schedules and getting that time away?
That is definitely not always easy. every single one of us still work a day job.
Right.
And
everybody in the band.
Everybody in the band. So we all burn all our vacation for the band. And luckily we've found guys that are willing to put in the hard work, and luckily they're all married to wives nice enough, and they haven't divorced them yet over this.
I suppose yet might be the key word for some.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But we do appreciate them, and their patience allows us to do this. Yeah.
Well, and if you can periodically get a gig in Colorado and they can come with you, it's that's kind of a nice perk for sure.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I mean, my wife comes when we're playing Florida or New York. She doesn't generally come to Indiana.
Yeah.
But, nothing against Indiana. I love Indiana. But, she's every now and then it helps keep things smoothed out that way by having her be able to be there periodically. So
that's the same way we work it.
Yeah. Very cool. I know you've got some, I'll be very honest with everybody who's watching right now. When I record these, I'm not 100% sure the air date of these particular episodes. I know these are going to be early in the year. So, is there anything like, say, maybe from just give me March on that might be something you want to mention that you're going to be playing or doing, or something you want to let us know about?
We are playing in April 5th, I believe is the date. It is the Ground Zero Music Festival in Bandera, Texas. And it's for the eclipse that's happening that weekend. And it's going to have a bunch of big name acts. Dawkins, Lita Ford, Bullet Boys, Georgia Satellites, Bellamy Brothers, and Lone Star Skynyrd. And so that's
and those are the real bands, not tributes.
Yes, those are the real bands.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun for you guys. That's great.
They're expecting 10 to 20,000 people, so should be a good crowd all weekend long.
Nice. Well, I expect to see a lot of video and photos from that, man. That should be a fun one. Do you guys ever come out to California? Have you had any reason to come out here yet?
We have not had any offers, but we would love to, since Larry's from there and his mom's there,
Yeah.
My sister. And
yeah. Well, I mean, one thing that's really nice is my day job. I do happen to have a day job, but part of that job entails concerts, events, and things like that. And one of the things we do every year is a biker rally. So I'll have to see where our lineup is coming up for 2024 and see if we had not filled that slot yet.
We would
So
appreciate
I'm not.
that.
I will make no promises here on the air, but I will see what I can do just to get you guys out here, because I really do. I've seen the lineup from the past few years, and I have been shocked that they haven't had a Lynyrd Skynyrd, or, with all due respect, a Doobie Brothers band, because those are big biker rally bands type too. And I think a Lynyrd Skynyrd would just absolutely kill. So I'll see what I can do about get you a California show. And I can see you guys for sure.
We would appreciate that.
Yeah, you got it. Have I mentioned everything? Did we miss anything? Is there anything you want to let me know about? Tell me the websites. Tell me the social media. Tell me all the the handles.
All right. Well, the website is LoneStarSkynyrd.com. Skynyrds with Y's. We have, in hindsight, that's and I'm sure Lynyrd Skynyrd had a lot of trouble with it, but that's it's misspelled almost every single time in advertising. But it's LoneStarSkynyrd.com. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. And those are our main four. And we're on LinkedIn. We do LinkedIn too.
Okay.
So those are our main ones that we're on. And you can find almost anything you'd want to see and how to contact us.
Very cool. All right. Well, Stephen, Naylor, Larry Ashby, I really appreciate you guys being on. I hope you enjoyed yourselves.
We did.
I'm very excited to have had you on. Larry, it was nice to reconnect with you again, buddy.
Absolutely.
It's good to see you. And Stephen, really great to meet you. Congratulations on all the success here with Lone Star Skynyrd.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for being a guest on the show. Don't go away after I sign off. Don't go anywhere. Stay on the line real quick, and we'll have a quick chat. But I want to just thank you one more time. And everybody, thanks for checking out the Ultimate Tribute Band podcast for this week. That's all the time we got. We will see you again next week. Once again, thanks to my guests, Stephen Naylor, Larry Ashby. Lone Star Skynyrd is the band. Check them out when you're in Texas or anywhere around about those parts. Check them out online. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. That'll do it for today's show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really means a lot to me. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, email me at roger@tributebandpodcast.com. Or if you have questions for future guests, you can email me as well. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching the Ultimate Tribute Band podcast. Please like, subscribe, share, tell somebody about it. Talk to you soon.